how these young people with guns and how these guns end them up in either one or two places, either in the cemetery or in prison. And unfortunately, the gun that you saw earlier caused someone to lose their life.
And that was Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott during a news conference earlier today regarding a shooting that left one person dead. And we now know new information tonight from law enforcement, who is now telling News 19 that one of the weapons used in a deadly confrontation over in Columbia was in fact stolen. Deputies say it was the gun used by the man who was shot and killed by law enforcement at a local housing complex. Richland County Sheriff says the man got into a shootout with a deputy after he ran from law enforcement. Tonight, our News 19 reporter Victoria Samuels has much more on what happened in the early morning hours over in Columbia.
To look out for each other, you know, neighborhoods, look out for each other. Somebody's usually always up or something in a complex like this, so we need to look out for each other. And if they see something suspicious, call the cops.
Sheriff Leon Lott spoke Wednesday morning about a shooting that left a suspect dead and a department canine injured. Deputies responded around 12:15 a.m. to a report of suspicious activity at Creekside at Huntington, an apartment and condo complex located in the 7600 block of Hunt Club Road. A resident reported seeing two individuals going through vehicles. When deputies arrived, they spotted the suspects. Sheriff Lott says the men immediately ran and two canine deputies began chasing them. During that pursuit, Lott said 20-year-old DeGeorge Darby fired two shots. One bullet struck Canine Cairo in the air. The other was fired towards canine specialist Richard Jeffcoat. Jeffcoat returned fire, hitting Darby multiple times. Darby was taken to the hospital, where he later died from his injuries. Deputies now tell us the weapon used by Darby had been stolen earlier this month from an apartment complex across the street from where today's shooting happened. The second suspect, 20-year-old John Lee Williams, surrendered without incident. He is facing 2 counts of theft from motor vehicles. Canine Cairo was treated for a gunshot wound to the ear and an abdominal injury. He is expected to make a full recovery.
You know, I've stood up here previously and talked about how we have people that go through subdivisions, apartment complexes, just pulling on handles and open doors and going in and stealing whatever's doing. But I've also talked about how these young people with guns and how these guns end them up in either one or two places, either in the cemetery or in prison. And unfortunately, the gun that you saw earlier caused someone to lose their life.
We also spoke with a resident whose vehicles were damaged during the shootout.
Well, we just finding out about the Suburban that got shot. And I don't know if that's from a bullet ricocheting. It doesn't look like something was direct, but my truck, it was an actual direct shot. And now who it came from, I don't know, but it went into the hood, the engine compartment. So I don't even know if it run anymore.
Another resident told us he was minding his own business inside his home when the shots rang out.
I was washing clothes at 12:15 this morning, and I was folding a load, and I was upstairs, and I heard the shots, like bam, 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 bam. I went, those were shots. I'm an ex-Air Force guy, so I know bullets and guns. And then I came and looked at my peephole, and I saw the blue lights and everything. I said, oh man, something must have happened. But I didn't know anybody got shot.
Neither of the deputies involved has been placed on administrative leave. Sheriff Lott says the solicitor's office will review the shooting to determine if it was justified. In Columbia, Victoria Samuels, News 19, WLTX.
Victoria, thank you so much. And of course, we will continue following this story, bringing you all the very latest details, both on air, but also online, as always, over on WLTX.com.